Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek Tyagi. I am a cloud solution architect, and today we are going to see the content and demos for new certification which Microsoft is going to launch in mid-July, which is AZ-700. It's a network certification associate exam for Microsoft Network Associate Engineer. And once you finish this exam successfully, you will be awarded a certificate, uh, associate certificate named as Microsoft Network Associate Engineer. And it focuses on all networking concept of Azure. So here we are going to learn what is VPN Gateway. So using VPN Gateway, what you can do if suppose you have your on-premises site and your Azure virtual network, you can connect those sites using virtual private gateway, and by using that connection, a traffic will flow over a encrypted connection over the internet. So as you can see here, this is your on-prem network, this is your Azure network, and you have VPN gateway set up here on Azure, and on here you will have VPN device, and if between this VPN device and this virtual network gateway, you can set up a tunnel, one tunnel in active mode by default and one in standby mode by default, and then that traffic from your Azure or from on-premises will traverse over that tunnel in encrypted mode. Nobody will be able to read that traffic over the internet. So it's a secure way of connection using internet over the internet, which is unsecure. And to So what is virtual network gateway? So through virtual network gateway is in background, it is composed of two or more VM based upon what configuration you choose, whether you choose by default or you choose active or you choose with BGP. So there will be two or more VM deployed to a specific subnet or dedicated subnet, which we call as a gateway subnet, which should have prefix more than 27 or more, at least 27, not more. So here, as you know, there will be two or more VM. You can't see those VM and you cannot configure them. But virtual gateway VM contain routing tables and run specific gateway services. These VM are created when you create virtual network gateway, and you cannot see these VM as I earlier said. You cannot configure them. So what are the different types of gateway you can choose from? One is VPN. Then that have further categories like route based, policy based, which we are going to learn soon. And then there is ExpressRoute. So in one virtual network, you can have only one gateway type. Either you can create one VPN, you can gateway, you cannot create another VPN gateway, but you can have both type in one network. You can have one as a VPN gateway, one as a ExpressRoute gateway. So that is the limitation, or I won't say it's a limitation. It's according to design. Thank you. So how to design them and which one to choose for what purpose? So we have three different type. In gateway, VPN gateway, we have two, and one is ExpressRoute as we earlier seen. So point to point is when you want to secure your Azure network for your remote users. So there can be 10 users, 20 users, and 40 users who want to connect to a virtual network. You don't want to connect whole site with your virtual network on cloud, but you just want to give your remote user access to your machines or your services hosted on virtual cloud. Then what what services are supported by uh, point to site? Cloud services and virtual machine, same for site to site. Typical bandwidths, it is based upon your gateway SKU, and here in site to site typically less than 1 Gbps aggregate. Protocol supported, it support number of protocol: open VPN, IPsec, SSTP, and there are further like SSTP on which devices like Windows, Apple. There are limitation on that we will discuss that in further slides. What are for which device you can use which protocol. Routing. So in this method, routing should always be route based since it's dynamic. You cannot hard code IP ranges or something like in policy base. So it should always be route based. And here connection resiliency, you can do only active passive. You cannot do active active like in site to site or ExpressRoute. So it's always active passive. We in site to site only IPsec is supported. There is no other protocol in site to site. As well as we can use routing, we can do both dynamic as well as static. Dynamic routing we can do through route based, or we can do for BGP also, implement BGP also. In ExpressRoute, it is services are like even wider. There is you need provider, service provider to set up your circuits, and it is based upon the area. Each geography have their own. So suppose India have different service providers which provide connection circuits, and same way other geographies have their own. But here you get more speed, like up to 10 Gbps, and direct connection. If you want to here protocol supported as direct connection over VLAN, NSP, VPN technologies, MPLS, VPLS, VPLS, and so on. On ExpressRoute, you have to site-to-site VPN. It is not mandatory. If you are, it is mandatory only if you want to do active but your more than 2 VPN device on your your on-prem network. But in ExpressRoute, it is mandatory to set up a BGP protocol, and it is always active. So it is required for enterprise class and middle mission critical workloads, backup because it's faster, and private connection, and it or Azure as a DR site. So following are the gateway SKUs you can choose from. You in basic you have basic where you get maximum of 10 connection. In VNet to VNet tunnels, P2S 128. It's not supported for P2S for these protocols, and up to 100 Mbps you can get. BGP is not supported here. So that way you have these many protocols, and there are some these AG protocol, AG generation VPN GW1 AG, where you can deploy your virtual network gateway into availability zone for higher availability and make it make it fault tolerant. So same way there are generation 2, and there are differences how many connections, like it is almost double in some cases, and speed also better in generation 2. So based upon your requirement, you choose one of these generation. And if you suppose you need to have better availability, you can choose this connection, but you need more speed, then you should use 3 GW3AG, where you have maximum of up to 1000 connection for P2S, and S2S 30. Almost in most of, except basic, everyone have at least 30. So based upon this table, you select what SKU you are going to use. And if you want to use more than 30, then you have to create virtual WAN. Okay, virtual WAN network. If you need more than 30 tunnels, only 30 tunnels are supported in generation 1, generation 2 gateway SKU. And so resizing of VPN GW SKUs allowed within the same operation generation, except resizing of basic SKU. So if you have created basic SKU, you cannot change SKU. But if you want to, suppose you choose VPN GW1, you can change it to VPN GW2 in same generation. But you can't do for another generation. If you want to do that, you have to delete the gateway and create again. Before going forward on this topic, we have to understand there are different types of VPN gateway you can create. One is route based, another one is policy based. So policy based versus route based VPN gateway differs in how IPsec traffic selectors are set on a connection. So as you can see here, you have IP set for those traffic selector. If it is of this IP, it is going to go here. So policy-based devices use combination of prefixes from both network to define how traffic is encrypted and decrypted through IPsec tunnels. And in policy-based, it is typically built on firewall devices that perform pocket filtering. IPsec tunnels, encryption and decryption are added to packet filtering and processing engine. But for route-based gateway, devices, you use any-to-any wildcard traffic selector and let routing forwarding table direct traffic to different IPsec tunnels. It is typically built on router platform, where each IPsec tunnel is modeled as a network interface or virtual tunnel interface. So it's any to any, it is based upon IP prefixes. So that is the main difference. And there are differences also, right? How many S2S connection you can see. Policy based, only one you can create maximum. In basic route based, you can do 10, and it supports only IKEV1 protocol, but route based VPN gateway supports both, and in a standard SKU of these type G2, G1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up to 30 connections. So those are the main differences. So after creating a site VPN gateway, you need to choose for what purpose you are going to use it, whether you are going to do site-to-site connection or you are going to do point-to-site connections. Okay, so in site-to-site connection is required when you have your virtual network on Azure and you want it to connect to a on-prem site or multiple on-prem site. So this is one site, there can be one more site somewhere, and then you can set up one more tunnel between that site, one tunnel for that site from same virtual network gateway. So it can be single site to single site, it can be between multiple sites on cross premises, or it can be between your one network, virtual network on Azure, and another virtual network on Azure in a different region or same region based upon your requirement. So why how you can create them, these connection, you have these three options: Azure Portal, CLI, Azure CLI, or PowerShell. You can use Terraform or ARM templates also while you are creating it from scratch, like creating virtual network, resource group, virtual network, VPN gateway, and then connections. So you have multiple options to create it. So another one is point to site. In point to site is required when you want to you want to create a connection, secure connection between your virtual network and individual client computers. So it is a client, once it is set up, a P2S connection is established by a client computer. He will either have a software, he will install it on it will be installed by a group policy, or if you are testing, you can install it yourself, native, provided by Azure, native certificate authentication. So there are multiple options, and you can set up, like if you have some user who you want to connect from home or from conference, right? In today's scenario where most of the people are working from home, so point to site connection is really beneficial in that case. And following are the requirement for P2S connection. It works only as a route based VPN gateway, and there are the different authentication mechanism. There is a radius server. You can do VPN gateway native certificates authentication, native Azure Active Directory authentication that supports only Windows on Windows 10, since it's Azure Active Directory. But these other one should be supported in other devices as well. Then we have three different protocol: Open VPN, SSTP, IKV. So Open VPN protocol and SSL TLS based VPN protocol it is. So a TLS VPN protocol can penetrate firewall, since most firewall open TCP port 443 outbound, which TLS use. And it is supported over Android, iOS 11 and above, Windows, Linux, Mac devices. SSTP protocol is proprietary TLS based VPN protocol. A TLS protocol can penetrate firewall, since most firewall use TCP 443. So it is kind of same thing. And it is SSTP is only supported on Windows devices. So like this one, OpenVPN, it is widely used for VPN. It's supported mostly on all devices, Android 11 plus and other devices I said earlier. And last one, IKEv2. It's a standard base IPsec VPN solution, can be used to connect Mac devices 10.11 and above. So if you want your Mac users to connect to VPN through this point to site VPN, you can set up this protocol. Then there is VNet to VNet. In VNet to VNet gateway, you see there are one VNet on East US, one VNet on West US. Okay. In East US, you have virtual network, you have VNet 1, you have the CIDR range and VPN gateway, and this tunnel is there between this network and this network. It's kind of active. It is kind of active standby only. One tunnel using this. This is you can treat as your public IP of VPN device on VPN network gateway on East US, and this is for West US. So traffic travels from active device to this from your virtual network in East US to West US. So it's kind of to site VPN, but between your Azure virtual network gateway on Azure networks, Azure sites or Azure sites, sorry. Hello, welcome back. So here we are going to see this design gateway where we can use ExpressRoute with VPN gateways. So here we have multiple sites on-prem. One is headquarter, one is on-premise local site. And in our Azure infrastructure, we have VNet in East US. We have two gateways in same network. One is of ExpressRoute type, one is VPN gateway. So remember, we can create only one VPN gateway in one network or one ExpressRoute gate type in one network. We cannot create two VPN gateways in same network. So apart from that, here as you can see, ExpressRoute connectivity is between your HQ and your virtual network on Azure. And here you can see VPN is getting connected on this public IP with your HQ. So it's a failover connection for you. Suppose there is circuit failure on your express route, then your traffic, this tunnel, your traffic from your virtual network on Azure or vice versa will traverse through this tunnel. So it can be used as a backup for your express route. In another scenario, suppose you want to keep you don't want to connect this site using express route, and you want to keep this site as a separate site, and you want your user from Azure to connect through this VPN gateway over this tunnel on this site. It's completely isolated site, and in that kind of scenario also you can use this. So there are two different scenarios where you can use it. One is for backup of your express route, or you can keep one site separate which is not connected through express route. So that's all. Gateway demo, you can refer to my other video where I have configured VPN gateway in active mode between VNet to VNet. So it will cover site to site VPN. I'm going to put video of point to site VPN as soon as possible. Thank you.